Hey folks, I'm out here at the North Campus Golf Course clearing my head and putting together some other videos for the class, and it reminded me that this is maybe a good place to think about in terms of, I don't know, the hidden depth of physical places and the ability to unhide places, or sort of learning how to notice things. Maybe at a first glance for some people this is, simply a golf course when you drive by. It looks like a golf course. It looks like a New Mexico golf course, not quite as green and lush as maybe some of the ones that people see on TV or anything like that. And there's, cactus on the edges and things like that. But there's always hidden levels of depth there. This, for instance, has been a part of this particular piece of the city for a long time. And over the last couple decades, has been involved in a fair bit of controversy and conflict in terms of sorting out its destiny going into the future. It's also part of a past where this 9-hole golf course that's left now was once a 27-hole golf course that extended all the way to what's currently Johnson Field. That's the other end of it for its largest extent. All the trees here are elms, and the reason why they're elms goes back to a particular city manager named Clyde Tingley and his idea of foresting the desert. But these are the kinds of things that are sort of wrapped up in this place that a person just walking through wouldn't necessarily know, see, think about, know how to read. But there are things you can start to read. You have someone to tell you about the elms, let's say. But one of the things that you can notice if you're here for a while is that it's a place that's used not just by golfers, but by runners and dog walkers and people like that. There's a mostly dirt path that goes all around the golf course that is quite well used. And you can start to get some sense there of the conflict over the use of space. There's not a lot of golf courses that seem to be used in this way. It's also, of course, borders a neighborhood. And then more recently, there have been semi-official bits of infrastructure put in place to try and make the place more legible to some of those recreational users, and also to negotiate some of the conflicts over the space. In particular, every year there seem to be more of these signs here. This one both identifies, it sort of makes official these trails that go around and place us there. And of course, right next to it is a giant sign that tells you the things that you're not allowed to do here. So that's sort of, what we come to expect in places like this. But then just very recently, they put up some new, even more sort of permanent and flashy bits of infrastructure. Notice that these are metal posts rather than wood. And then we've got like a timeline of event here. This is, the kind of thing you might think about being put up in, a location that you might think about as being more historical than this. But in fact, this goes quite a bit back in terms of when this neighborhood was first constructed and sort of dug out of what was the East Mesa. On the other side here, we have another map, and it's kind of interesting because these two together seem sort of redundant, so there might not be the most coordination between these things. I guess that other one does have metal poles as well. Still not as flashy as this one. And then here we have, again, the city regulations and other notices of the things that you're not allowed to do. Seeing them all at once now, I'm sort of a little bit curious why they're all here, but there's probably a story there too. If you look just a little bit further down the way, you can see there's a sign, and this is older infrastructure yet. It says dogs must be on leash at all times. That's another sort of conflict within a conflict. If we come here as people are getting off of work, we can see that. Here is a pet station that's put there to help keep the amount of dog poop that's on the path at bay. So anyway, just a quick message. I was thinking about this place and its complicated meanings, even though it's sort of simple at a first glance, and how these meanings get negotiated over time, how they become apparent or stay hidden within the environment, or also how, sort of the people with the signs who dig the concrete in, they get to have a pretty big say in what the ongoing interpretation of this place is, both in conversation and in terms of how people use it. So I'll talk to you again soon.